I started again. I did not start strong. I started tired. I had tried before. I had failed before. On the first day, I did not feel brave. I only felt ready to try one more time. I had stopped believing in new beginnings. Each time I failed, it felt harder to begin again. But something inside me refused to stay still. So I started again, not with hope, but with honesty. I did not change everything. I changed how I returned. Lesson 1. Starting again is not failure. I used to think that starting again meant I had failed. Every restart felt like proof that I was weak, slow, or not good enough. When something did not work, I told myself I should have done better the first time. That belief made me tired before I even tried. Each failure stayed in my mind like a mark, one could not erase. I remembered what went wrong more clearly than what I learned. And because of that, I became afraid of beginnings. I was not afraid of effort. I was afraid of repeating the same pain. For a long time, I stayed where I was, not because I was happy, but because it felt safer than starting again. Staying still felt less painful than risking another disappointment. I told myself I was waiting for the right time, but deep inside, I knew I was avoiding the feeling of failure. This year, something shifted. I reached a point where staying still hurt more than trying again. I was tired of carrying regret. I was tired of wondering what could have happened if I had tried one more time. So I started again, not with confidence, not with excitement, just with honesty. I told myself the truth. I had failed before, yes, but I was still here. I was still breathing. And I still cared. That meant something important. It meant I had not given up. Starting again is not erasing the past. It is carrying the past differently. When I started again, I brought lessons with me. I brought awareness. I brought patience I did not have before. I realized that failure does not mean you are bad at life. It means you are learning how life works. Every attempt leaves something behind. Skills, awareness, strength you cannot see yet. When I changed how I saw starting again, everything softened. I stopped using the word failure like a weapon against myself. I began to see restarts as signs of courage, because quitting forever is easy. Returning is hard. Starting again does not mean you forgot what hurt you. It means you believe the future can still be different. And believing that takes strength. Each small restart rebuilt my relationship with myself. I stopped asking, why did I fail? And started asking, what did I learn? That question changed my energy. It turned shame into curiosity. I did not need to prove anything to anyone. I did not need to succeed immediately. I only needed to begin without punishment. This lesson stayed with me. Starting again is not weakness. It is resilience in action. It is the quiet decision to continue even when pride is tired. This year did not change me because I never fell. It changed me because I learned that standing up again is part of living well. And if you are starting again today, remember this: you are not behind. You are not broken. You are brave enough to try once more. And that is never failure. Lesson 2. You don't need confidence to begin. For a long time, I believed confidence had to come first. I thought I needed to feel ready before I could begin again. I waited to feel strong, sure, and calm. But those feelings never came. The more I waited, the heavier starting felt. Confidence looked like a gate I could not open. I watched other people move forward while I stayed still, thinking they had something I did not. I told myself I would start when I felt less afraid, but fear does not disappear just because you wait. When I started again this year, confidence was not there. My hands felt unsure. My thoughts were messy. But I moved anyway. That was the first time I understood something important. Confidence is not the starting point. It is the result. Action creates confidence, not the other way around. Each small step gave me a little proof. Proof that I could try. Proof that I could survive discomfort. Proof that I could continue. At first, the steps were very small. I showed up for 5 minutes. I tried once. I allowed myself to stop without guilt. These actions did not feel powerful, but they were real. With each action, my fear changed. It did not disappear, but it softened. I stopped asking myself if I was confident enough. I asked if I was willing to try. Willingness is quieter than confidence, but it is stronger. Willingness says, "I don't know, but I will begin." That sentence moved me forward more than any positive thought ever did. Many people wait for confidence because they believe starting without it is dangerous. But starting without confidence is honest. It means you accept uncertainty. It means you trust the process, not the feeling. As days passed, I noticed something surprising. I began to feel confident in small ways. Not because I succeeded perfectly, but because I showed up again. Confidence grew slowly, like trust. It did not shout. It settled. I learned that confidence is built through experience, not imagination. You cannot think your way into confidence. You must live your way into it. Starting again without confidence taught me humility. It reminded me that growth is not about feeling ready. It is about being willing to begin in imperfect conditions. This lesson stayed with me. I stopped waiting for the perfect moment. I stopped checking my feelings before acting. I moved first, and my feelings followed. And that is how starting again became possible. Not because I was confident, but because I was willing. And willingness, repeated over time, became confidence. Lesson 3. A soft restart lasts longer. When I started again, I did not push myself hard. In the past, every restart felt like a race. I tried to move fast, fix everything, and prove something to myself and others. That pressure always ended the same way. I burned out. I stopped. I felt ashamed. This time I chose a softer restart. A soft restart does not demand results. It allows space. It understands that healing and growth need time. I gave myself permission to move slowly, to rest, and to learn as I went. At first, moving slowly felt wrong. Part of me believed that if I was not pushing hard, I was not serious. But I noticed something important. When I moved gently, I kept going. I did not quit after a few days. I did not feel exhausted by my own expectations. Soft restarts create safety. When you feel safe, you return. When you feel attacked by your own goals, you disappear. I had disappeared too many times before. I learned to begin my days without pressure. If I could do a little, that was enough. If I needed to stop, that was allowed. This freedom did not make me lazy. It made me honest. With less pressure, I became more consistent. I showed up more often because I was not afraid of failing. Each small return strengthened my belief that I could continue. A soft restart also helped me listen to myself. I noticed when I was tired and when I had energy. I learned when to push a little and when to pause. This awareness made my efforts more sustainable. Many people believe growth must hurt to be real, but pain is not the same as progress. Sometimes, pain only means you are being too hard on yourself. A soft restart respects your limits. It grows with you instead of against you. It allows mistakes without punishment. And that makes it powerful. As weeks passed, my soft restart became steady movement. I was not moving fast, but I was not stopping. That was new for me. I realized something important. Fast restarts feel exciting, but they often do not last. Soft restarts feel quiet, but they stay. This year changed because I stopped fighting myself. I began to work with myself, and that made all the difference. Starting again does not need force. It needs care. And care, given consistently, can carry you farther than pressure ever will. Lesson 4. The past does not decide the next step. For a long time, my past felt like a rule book. Every mistake I made became evidence of who I was. I told myself stories about my limits. I said, I always fail, or I am not good at starting. These words followed me into every new attempt. When I thought about starting again, my past spoke louder than my hope. It reminded me of everything that went wrong before. It showed me moments I wanted to forget, and slowly I believed that the past had the final word. This year, I challenged that belief. I realized that the past explains where I have been, but it does not decide where I can go. The past holds information, not commands. It shows patterns, not predictions. When I started again, I did not try to erase my past. I learned from it. I asked myself what went wrong and why. I noticed habits that did not help me. I saw moments where I gave up too early or pushed too hard. Instead of judging myself, I adjusted. I learned to see my past as a teacher, not a judge. Every mistake carried a lesson. Every failure pointed to something that needed care or patience. This changed how I moved forward. When fear appeared, I did not say, "This always happens." I said, "This happened before, and I learned from it." That small shift gave me space to choose differently. The past loses power when you stop using it as an excuse. It also loses power when you stop using it as a punishment. It becomes useful only when you use it as guidance. Many people carry their past like a heavy bag. They bring it into every new beginning. But you can choose what to carry forward and what to leave behind. Starting again allowed me to set boundaries with my past. I acknowledged it, respected it, and then moved beyond it. I did not need to repeat old patterns just because they were familiar. Each new step became a chance to respond differently, and each different response created a new future moment. This lesson taught me freedom. Freedom to change my story. Freedom to stop repeating old sentences in my mind. This year changed me because I stopped letting yesterday decide today. And when today changed, tomorrow followed. Lesson 5. Starting again is a skill. For a long time, I thought starting again was something you did only when everything went wrong. It felt like a last option, something to be ashamed of. But this year taught me that starting again is not an emergency move. It is a skill you can learn. Like any skill, it becomes stronger with practice. The first time I started again, it felt painful and uncertain. The second time, it felt slightly easier. Over time, returning became familiar. Not comfortable, but possible. Each restart taught me how to recover faster. I learned how to notice when I was drifting away from what mattered. I learned how to pause, reflect, and choose to return. That ability changed my relationship with failure. Failure no longer meant the end. It meant a reset point, a moment to breathe and decide again. Starting again as a skill also taught me patience. I stopped expecting instant results. I accepted that progress includes pauses, restarts, and adjustments. This acceptance made my journey more stable. Many people think strong people never need to start again. But strong people are often the ones who know how to return without quitting. They do not attach their identity to one moment. They allow growth to be a process. I practiced starting again in small ways. If I missed a day, I returned the next. If I felt discouraged, I rested and continued. Each return made the next one easier. Over time, starting again became part of my rhythm. It removed fear from mistakes. It replaced shame with responsibility. I learned that I could trust myself to return. This skill gave me confidence that did not depend on success. It depended on resilience. I no longer feared setbacks because I knew how to respond. Starting again became a quiet strength, something I carried with me, something I could use anytime life became messy. This year changed me because I learned that beginnings are not rare. They are available whenever you choose to return. And learning how to start again is one of the most valuable skills you can build. Starting again is not a sign that something went wrong. It is a sign that you are still choosing yourself. Life is not a straight path. It moves forward, pauses, turns, and sometimes asks you to return. That return is not failure. It is wisdom in action. This year taught me that progress is not about never falling. It is about knowing how to rise without shame. Each restart carries experience. Each restart carries learning. And that makes you stronger, not weaker. When you stop fearing restarts, you stop fearing growth. You become free to try, to adjust, and to continue. The past no longer controls you. It informs you. The future no longer scares you. It invites you. You do not need to erase your mistakes to move forward. You only need to stop letting them define you. Starting again allows you to step into the present without the weight of old stories. This year changed me not because everything worked, but because I learned how to continue. And that skill will stay with me long after this year ends. If you remember one thing from this story, remember this: you are allowed to begin again as many times as you need, and each beginning carries new strength. If this story feels familiar, pause for a moment and breathe. Think about one area of your life where you need to start again. You do not need to fix everything. Just choose one place to return. Write the word "again" in the comments if you are starting again today. Let it be a quiet promise to yourself. Subscribe to LinguaTales for simple English stories that help you grow, reflect, and keep going, one honest step at a time.